나 보내다 하늘만 내가 못하다 Veomega Eiseonam Nifla Halleluja, Hayom Shemei show, I would like to see how each one of you play. And we start with you. What is your name?
Jeff.
Jeff. Jeff, can you play something for us? You have to hold it like this. Yes. Very interesting, Jeff. It's very good. Thank you very much, Jeff. And your name?
Sam.
Sam. Can you play something for us? This is great. Jeff, Sam, and from Deutschland?
Don Rolfo.
Don Wolfo. Don, can you play something for us? Spiel bitte. Jeff, Sam, Don, and
Eric.
Eric. Eric, can you play something for us? I can't believe it. This is a great surprise. Did you try it before? Yes, this afternoon. Where is your guide? I would like to kill him. Do they look... No, it takes me 10 minutes to teach them how to play the flute. It's very funny. Anyway, do they look oriental? Not yet. Come on, everybody. Jeff, Sam, Don, and Eric. You have got to imagine that you just ate hummus. And when we eat hummus, we are doing like this. I'm sure you ate hummus already. Let's try it. Like this. Done. Sam. Jeff. Sam, stop. No, just watch. Imagination, the stars. על הירח יעקב כבר מוביל את הפרות מן המרעה וחלב רץ לו רץ ונובע
Another morning.
Hasidic is something like the Koresh store in the States. Koresh?
Yeah.
Cyrus?
Koresh.
Koresh. David Koresh, what's his name?
Yeah.
You know this story? So we had the same problem here.
Except
But you finished it with killing what? How many people?
about 80 some odd.
80 people. We finished it with one person.
Yeah, but they didn't
But the man is in our hands. What?
Only
Surrender.
the
There's no
surrendered. The
one.
others
This morning everybody surrendered, no problem.
this morning everybody
They
surrendered.
did.
Everybody surrendered.
Koresh wouldn't surrender, and I think they handled it.
At the effects of the election.
The effect of the election that the Labour Party got a big strike. I mean, the Labour Party now lost a little bit power. But if Mr. Ramon is going to join back the Labour Party, then they're going to be very, very powerful. I think this was a trick of Mr. Rabin, that he realized that the youngsters has to move forward, and he doesn't want to give up on his chair, but at least he thought that the union has to be run by the young guys. And this is the way that Mr. Haberfeld, who is the older guy, you know, he left after the election because he lost, and at least Mr. Rabin supported him in the beginning. But deep in his heart, he's supporting Mr. Ramon, but he doesn't show it to the people.
Oh God, are they doing more things?
Old Bedouin village on our way, Galilee. We're on the road going towards the Jordan River. We're bypassing Jericho on a road that's very rarely used, but we can't go through Jericho anymore.
Michael, tell them you're going to Jordan now. You're crossing the Abdallah Bridge, you're going to Jordan. Don't mind. Michael. You see the fences? This fence you're going to see all the way along today until we get into Beit Shan Valley. A double barbed wire,
Jordanian border.
wire, antennas, mines, and different other kind of electrical means that we're using, and you cannot see it in the area. Some of the first wire, and then to come to the second one, and to pass this buffer zone if you want. It's difficult, but if you're a real trained terrorist, you can do something.
Border with Jericho.
This is why this area is very, very sensitive, and the moment you touch the fences, automatically Israeli soldiers, the one that watch the screen, the girls, will push a button, will call the infantry automatically. Kathleen Kenya, an American lady, here in the 50s, and we came over there to 29 layers in the strata, stratigraph, cut 29 layers, 29 different generations, 98,000 years ago. This is the first city that people realize that sitting in one place has a lot of advantages instead of being roamed or wandering from place to place like the Bedouins. The second story is connected with Jericho, is the story of the oldest profession in the world.
Prostitution.
And Rahav came from there. But the Bible doesn't tell us that she was a prostitute. She gave all different kind of...
Some of the kibbutz in the West Bank.
Jordan. In other words, you can see that the river is very, very
Michael
close
finally
to us.
let me
Very
use
close.
his
And the
camera.
river bed is very wide, and it's a very, very fertile
Barely
soil over
see
there.
it.
Never fell off or anything?
Never, never
barely, barely
filled up.
see it.
Like the LA.
Barely
It's a
see it.
desert here, no water.
Well,
And then the barbed wire
Rains, but in the desert,
is
3
the
days, 4
border
days in the season.
between
That's it.
Jordan.
You gotta take a picture when you get the can of Coke in Hebrew.
The
On the left. On the right, it's only greenhouses. The communal moshav is like a kibbutz, but every family gets a salary, and at the end of the month, at the end of the year, they're showing the dividends, the benefits. You work wherever they tell you, mostly wherever you like, and you can have your own car. You eat with your family in your own house. You have your own house. And that's the way it runs. This village is the last one that we're going to see. That's a settlement, you call it, in the West Bank. That's the last one. From here on, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be back in the Green Line, back in the border of Israel and Jordan before 67. In other words, we are going to leave the West Bank in 10 minutes, okay? Ben-Gurion, when he became the Prime Minister 48, 49, he said, we don't have Jews in this country. It's a hell of a sudden. A mob of Jewish people came to this country, 1.5 million. What are you going to put them? In Tel Aviv? No. Bad. Why? Because this area didn't have any Jewish population. So he decided to spread them all the way around the country, on the borders. And he did it at night time. Why at night time? When they were landing, again, they'll go smaller. When they were landing in Haifa, I mean, from a boat or with a plane, he didn't want them to know where he's going to put them. They load them on trucks at night, drove all the way here, prepared for them tents, camp, and that's it. Early in the morning, they wake up, they can talk to the wall. He was listening. From then on, they were sitting here from 1956, 57. Nothing was over here, nothing. Bushes, snakes, nothing was over here. And the Jordanians on the other side. And this is the way he built up 35 towns in Israel. Eilat, 49. Beersheba, Kiryat Shmona. Everything is developing towns that Ben-Gurion built up. Where's the Moroccan population that came during the 50s? And mainly during the 56, 200,000 people came in 1 year. 200,000 people. If you're talking about the country was 1.5 million, this is a lot. A lot. So this is a Moroccan population mainly living here. The mentality was totally different. It's called Beit She'an. In the Hellenistic time and the Greek time, it used to be called Schitopolis. Schito comes from the tribes of the sailors that used to be in Italy and Greece and landed over there in the Gaza Strip. Part of the Philistines, Palestinians, Philistines basically. And later on, they came up over here after they were defeating the Jewish king, whose name was Saul. You know that Saul was an unlucky guy because David drove him crazy. And when he went to the lady of the witch of Endor, she told him that he's going to die. And in 2 weeks he died. He was fighting on the mountains of Gilboa that we saw in the distance with the Philistines, and he was defeated. And he asked his bodyguard, please stab me. I cannot see my family killed by the Philistines. And he said, I cannot do it. And he was leaning on the sword, and that was the end of
These are the entrances to the various. We have concerts here today, and it's also closed because the acoustics are supposed to be very good. I'll go down and I'll talk to you probably when you get up here.
Come over here, it will be easier for me to talk. So what's the major difference between amphitheater and a theater?
In the ground.
Pardon? Wrong. Open and closed? What's the difference between amphitheater and a theater?
Amphitheater is in the round.
See? Amphitheater is a complete circle. A theater is a semicircle. What is the difference from? Amphitheater mainly shows that some of them are very cruel, like gladiators fighting animals against prisoners and filling even with water and stuff like that. And the center, the arena, sometimes filled with water. In the theater is mostly cultural shows. So the one we see over here is mainly cultural shows, which is equivalent to what was done in Greek at that period. But this is all original, we didn't touch it. This was all covered by sand.
What's your ankle?
Column over here can, I mean, I would say 8 tons.
Toby, how many years ago did they find this town?
The theater was found in 1963. And the city was excavated, started 85 years ago. But later on they found the theater. The moment they found the theater, they moved the shopping center and the homes and everything else. So they started digging around, they found streets. The same street. We have 2 levels over here. One the Roman one and one the Byzantine one. The Roman one is lower. The Byzantine was level, about 2 feet or 3 feet high. You will be able to see that. But this gentleman is standing. This is the last level of this city, which was the Byzantine one, in the 7th century. Can you see that? There's 3 stores over there. Entrances. This is all restored. Can you see that? 3 stores. And this street was all covered by stores and stores and stores on the left side and on the right side. The size of the stores is basically from the wall all the way to the column. Can you see the column? Anything you see over here, which is standing 90 degrees, was basically found as a part of the earthquake. Everything was collapsing, so we put it together. Can you see that? So the columns were putting once again, and the walls were putting once again here, I mean the shops. And this street was covered by the pavement that you see over here. Recently we found over here a water pipe. Can you see the water pipe? Still today. You can still use it today. It's outstanding. From the 7th century, 6th century. We found over here bones of a camel. Probably one of the ways of the Mercedes at that time. Mercedes-Benz. And we found something else.
Doesn't need gas.
749 there's an earthquake. When there's an earthquake in LA, what happening?
Things fall down.
Things
And people
fall
running
Away.
away.
which direction? Out of the fire, out of everything, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Who are the guys that running inside into the area?
The
Idiot.
What does that mean?
The ones who rob, the kind of thieves.
Fantastic. Over here, the same story. People run away this direction. And one guy decided to run this direction. What for?
To grab all the valuables.
No, to grab the treasury. The treasury was running in the house of the governor. The governor was over there. We found him in the house of the governor. When he came over there, he didn't realize that an earthquake is not one hit and that's it. It's several. So almost when he grabbed the treasury, a pillar, a big pillar, 8 tons fell over him. And that was a witness that this man, you know, couldn't steal this.
Michael, you're going to have to make part 1 and part 2. Michael?
I'll edit it together.
Professor Mazar. He has about 10 supervisors over here. And
Maybe it was a scrap tire.
we have everybody. Stay in the stage, people. Listen, this is the palestra, the exercise ground and the entertaining ground. I don't know what kind of exercise was done over here, aerobic or not aerobic, it doesn't matter. The fact is that all this floor was covered by mosaic floor. It shows you that the Romans put a lot of money in this town. Those were small mini rooms to rest, relaxation over here, in the wall of the complex. Now you can see that much better. You can see the color of the soil over there?
Yeah.
That's the part of the hot pool over there. Can you see the hot pool? All this area was covered by big rooms with sauna. So where those people are working right now, this was the big rooms of the sauna in the hot, in the warm.
Hello, Dad.
Where are we?
Come over here close as possible because there's another group going to be 100 kids, Israeli kids. And you know what's their behavior in the sun, in the heat. I don't blame them. Okay, Mr. Stein, come over here. I'm trying to give you the idea of this synagogue while those Israeli kids are driving me crazy. The floor is all original. The floor considered to be a floor. Shake this! It's a Camel language, they like it. The floor considered to be from the 6th to 8th century, probably 7th century. A small Jewish community used to live over here and praying in a synagogue which was called Beit Ilfa, Beit Alpha. The house of Alpha, we don't know which Alpha, maybe one of the alphabet in Greek, maybe something else, we don't know. One thing we know, that the building in the mosaic floor was looted out with the money which came from the rabbi. His name was Nahum. Right over here we found the name Nahum. So to commemorate the Rabbi Nahum who gave the money to build up this synagogue. Who are the artists? Nobody knows. If they were Greeks, if they were Romans, if they were Israelis, nobody knows. I would like to start from the structure of the building. Structure of the building looks like the main hall over here and the two navas over there. The sides over here are the benches. Everything is original. From the benches, in between the middle, you can see something like a staircase going up. Used to go up to a gallery that used to be used by the woman. The woman cannot deal with the men praying. So the woman is praying, facing of course to Jerusalem, but she is going in from this gate over here and coming up to stay in the gallery. Over there we see the niche. This is where the Torah scrolls used to be, deep in the ground. And the reason is that the man, when he comes to the work, to the shul, is very small compared to the God. This is why the Holy Ark used to be very deep in the ground. Over there you can see the Holy Ark covered by embroidery. Can you see the mistake over there? Embroidered fabric. You can see the two lions guarding the temple itself. You can see the two menorahs. You can see a shofar. You can see a shovel. You can see a lulav. And you can see the two menorahs over there. Can you see the two menorahs? The three legs. Menorahs on the side and on the side. In the middle, you can see Elias, the god of the sun. He is carried by 4 bulls. That's the story from the mythology. And around him, the 12 zodiac. Everything is in Hebrew. Around the center, you have a square. And in each one of the corners of the square, we have the Jewish calendar seasons. The beginning is, of course, the Tishrei, which is the beginning of the year, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The next one over there is Tevet. We're filling trees.
She dropped the glasses inside. He's getting
This is one of the fish ponds, right? This is a fish pond?
Yeah.
Could be the very one that I worked in. Heading towards Tiberias.
Black something. I don't know what. Maybe
The olive fields of Gesher, where I picked many olives. Hamsu, coming up on the right are the olive fields.
This is Gesher.
coming up on the olive.
On the left, on the left. Kibbutz is over there. Over here, straight ahead.
American.
זה לא פה, זה עוד אחד שם. They have a gypsum factory and a scale factory. Scales?
Yeah.
These are the olive fields, right?
Are these the trees here?
Yes, these are the trees. I have picked olives from these very trees on the right.
תעמוד לו, אם הוא לא שואל, תעמוד לו. Take a picture. גשר.
Hamsu, take a picture of the sign on the right here.
All right, hold on.
אשתו גם רוצה גם.
Okay.
סע.
Now you want the picture of the kibbutz?
Yeah, sure.
Okay then.
Old Gesher. Jordan River Bridges.
Hey, Michael, is that your green cap there?
That's it. I remember that entrance.
So this is the place that made you the man yard.
Take a picture right of that tower there. That's the entrance.
That's what you were saying, the Turkish. They had to build that tower.
Hey Michael,
Huh?
is this the place that made you the man you are today?
He was barely out of diapers when he
Melting
was
pot.
here.
What, 72?
72.
22 years ago.
Yes.
Say, he's barely out of diapers. Young, very young boy.
18.
You're giving it away. I wasn't fishing.
What is that?
On the left side, you can see the tower that was captured by the Iraqi troops at 48. You see, most of the bridges over here over the Jordan River were destroyed by the Israelis at 48 because we didn't want to let the Jordanians come in and
Jordan River.
have advantage on us. So that's why we destroyed most of the bridges. One of the bridges is in the distance on your right side over the Jordan River. But there's a Jordan over there where you see the trees. Here, basically it's the artificial canal, if you want. It's called the banana.
It's a creek. It's
What?
just a little stream.
Jordan Street.
Yeah, it's a Jordan stream.
Hello.
Gutenberg built up in order to create a power station. אתה יכול לעמוד על הגשר ממש, בצד ימין, עוד איזה 50 מטר.
It's the bridge over
And
the
you will be
Jordan.
able to see how the Jordan River was changed and diverted into one channel. And this is the Jordan River on your right side, ladies and gentlemen. 3 riverbeds. The hill over there belongs to Jordan. Do you see that? See the riverbed? 1, 2, 3. With this, we used to regulate the stream of the water. The idea was to get the water from the Yarmouk River, which comes from Syria and Jordan, and to let it fall 15 meters, 20 meters, which is 60 feet.
Ashtat Yaakov.
רוצה להיכנס לזה?
מה? זה יכול להיות, כן. צריך לתת להם איזה משהו לפני הזה, לא?
שואל.
צריך לתת להם משהו לפני, לא?
מה אחרי האוכל?
Ashtat Yaakov. This is the entrance that I remember.
Right next to the Golan Heights into the Jordanian border, Jordanian and Syrian border. We have a triangle border over here, Jordan, Syria, and Israel. Over there. In 2 places in Israel we have triangle border. In this part and in the northern part, which is Lebanon, Israel, and Syria. This one is Jordan, Israel, and Syria. See, I've got a straight ahead.
It's just that I remember. This is the Jordan River, site of many baptisms.
And while you eat the fish still looks at you.
The eye there.
This is the Sea of Galilee.
And if you want a guy just to, you know, to serve it without a head, without a tail, you can tell him.
Hey, Michael. Hey, where are we? Hot Springs full of dead things. Don't splash me. How's it smell?
Smells like rotten eggs.
Hot Springs in the bus.
I got that already.
Tiberias, the famous fish dinner. Fish with a side order of bones. Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know if you can see the fish going after that piece of pita. I think they went a little hummus with it, I'm not sure. Whee!
Been there for 2-3 days at a time. Never been there more than 2-3 days at a time.
All done.
Okay.
Right. Well, as I started telling you the different fruits that we make in the winery, in fact, the reason we started the winery because this kibbutz, which has been going for a long time now, grows a lot of fruit, and so it was natural that if we thought in terms of some sort of industrial product, that it should be based on some of the fruits with sugar at all in them, and therefore they're a dry or a semi-dry wine. However, for those with the sweet tooth, we have a light dessert wine, which, by the way, is one we're marketing at the moment. One of our
Okay, so instead of going to a church, we decided to go and do some wine tasting. Taste the wine from the hills of Galilee. Cheers.
Wine.
How is it?
really special.
And then this is the kiwi.
Ah, your favorite.
Kiwi blackberry. Different.
Self-rule accord. An agreement was formally approved Wednesday by the Israeli cabinet. One of the countries.
As the Israeli occupation of the Gaza Strip and Jericho draws to an end, the Israeli government is just getting around to making it official. Today, the Israeli cabinet put its stamp of approval on the accord between the PLO and Israel on Palestinian self-rule. Israel's environment minister says the handover will be complete in Jericho by Friday and in the Gaza Strip by May 18th. Israel's parliament is debating the accord now. It's expected to win approval. Well, what was once a hated symbol of Israeli occupation is now a symbol of Palestinian self-rule. Today, Palestinian police took over an army base in the Gaza Strip from Israeli troops. CNN's Jim Clancy has more on the first Gaza town to come under Palestinian self-rule.
Fatah Hawk celebrated the arrival of the Palestinian police with brief bursts of gunfire. But thousands of others in the Gaza town of Deir al-Balah seem satisfied to keep the noise-making a bit more restrained. For people steeped in a quarter-century of occupation, the gun is the symbol of authority regained, authority over their own lives. Thousands jammed the town square and the police station that was for so long an Israeli military camp in their midst. Arriving policemen were kissed and embraced, families reunited.
When I saw my people, my mother, my father, my family, I am very happy.
But as young militants paraded with guns through the streets, some wondered who would really be the authority here. The commander of the Palestinian police answered that those who were armed or opposed to the peace would be dealt with quietly through dialogue. And a PLO spokesman said a clear course was already set.
This country, this homeland is for all the Palestinians. We're gonna build a country from scratch. We're gonna live together. We're gonna talk to each other, not at each other. We're gonna establish a democratic society where people will be treated equally according to the laws, without any distinction, with their political or ideological beliefs.
The Palestinians are convinced that the withdrawal of Israeli troops still underway from parts of Gaza will generate a new atmosphere of cooperation. Cooperation among Palestinians and cooperation with their neighbors.
I wish to do, and this is the first step to make real peace to my people and the Israeli people.
Even before the police arrived in Gaza City, Palestinians watched Israeli troops continue their redeployment. An Israeli cabinet minister said the pullout could be completed within a week. The change promised in the words of the peace accord was becoming solid evidence of change on the ground, and Palestinians watched it all gladly, waving goodbye to at least pieces of the occupation as they rolled over the road and out of their lives. Jim Clancy, CNN, Gaza.
South Africa's new president is backing up his promise.
Well, as this was happening in Gaza, it was also happening in Jericho, and today was the day. And today we were within sight of Jericho. And this first day of the Israeli withdrawal from Jericho, the practical effect is that our bus had to take an hour-long detour today, the first day. So we just happened to be here during a very historic time, and we happened to be within earshot. earshot of Jericho.
Good morning. And let me put the time on here. Yep, it really is 7:12.
Yes, it's 7 o'clock.
I can't believe I'm up at 7 o'clock on my vacation.
Going for a Jeep ride.
Going for a Jeep ride in
Michael here.
It's a beautiful peacock and gazelles. We have deers and
Sabra cactus.
if you want to go down. Smell like oregano, but actually it's not oregano.
Yeah, we had it in the bus.
You wish. No hashish here. In Lebanon, a lot of hashish.
Oh, what is that?
This is what I give you to smell is in Hebrew we call it za'atar. And maybe you've been in the old cities like Jerusalem, Hako. They give you a pita bread with za'atar. In Hebrew it's hezov. If you hear it, it's good. Anyway, my name is Yochai. And we're standing here on the edge of the Akula Valley. That's a beautiful valley that we see in front of us. Using for agriculture. And Ayelet HaShachar have a beautiful area here. Not all belong to Ayelet HaShachar because we have few kibbutzes between the trees, one in the back of us. We don't see, but we can say 1/3 of what we see belong to Ayelet HaShachar. Like I said before, we have around 2,000 acres using for agriculture, like avocados, trees in the bottom just above us is apple trees, and later is the plum trees. In the fields we have cotton, corn, sunflower, belong to the Syria. We don't see now because the sun is in the height, but the trees, eucalyptus trees, line of trees on the drop of the Golan Heights. This was used to be the first Syrian bunkers. And the eucalyptus trees are the signs where is the base of the Syrian. And you know why they have eucalyptus trees on these bases? Because Israel have a big spy in Syria, name of Heli Cohen. And he tells them to put
cotton field.
Milk the cows.
Food for the cows.
Boys went down and didn't know how to manage to get rid of those Arabs who were living over here. Well, most of them were basically terrorists. So the system was that at night time we're taking the kids, and instead of letting them sleep, we're telling them that we're going to roll empty barrels like that, nighttime. And the kids has to bring it up and down, up and down, up and down. This creates something like atom bomb. It's really so inventing something special. That's what it's So we rolled it all the way down up to here. There was a wall over here.
When was this?
48. The second idea was there was a mortar over there, which I showed you in Jerusalem, which is called the Vitka. David Leibovich invented something like a mortar which made more noise than damage. It was made of water pipe, nothing. But he managed to create a lot of noise, and this is the way that the Arabs simply ran away all the way to Lebanon. So the town today is purely Jewish town. This is what the Arabs were shelling during the 48 war. Israelis were busy in Jerusalem, where the Israeli soldiers were busy in the south, in the Negev to stop the Egyptians. Tzfat was far away from Ben Gurion. He didn't care about Tzfat. But the moment he saw that most of the troops coming from Lebanon towards Tzfat and then to Nazareth, he was afraid that he was going to lose all the settlements, all the kibbutzim in the upper Galilee, in the lower Galilee. That's why he decided to send the troops over here. You can see the lower Galilee over there. And the key, or the highlight of what I'm going to tell you now, why did I bring you here? Because this is one of the 4 holy cities in Israel. Why is that the 4 holy cities of Israel? Because if you look over there, the success of the revolt against the Romans. Remember, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was the rabbi of... Is it very mitzvah? Yes? Synagogue, which I was not intending to take here. Whatever is not Spain is better than the one which is Spain, because the one that is Spain is closed. Because the guy went to, I don't know what to do. He thinks it's a grocery shop. So I decided to come over here. It's a synagogue which has 400 years old. It was destroyed in 1837 on an earthquake. Probably the most strongest earthquake in Israel. 4,000 people were killed, 2,000 people were killed in this town, 2,000 Jews. And this was rebuilt in 1850. Oh. Why I'm taking this, Rabbi? Because this town is full of mysticism. Whatever it tells us, behind it, there's a lot of Kabbalah mysticism. Nepha, Morocco. He was born in Morocco. Rabbi Abu Hav. Now he's going to tell you why we're reading on Passover Haggadah from 1 to 13 Chad Gadya. And that's the way that this synagogue was built up. Number one, Machat, the main door is one. One goes. The 2 ways up and down to the bima. That's 2 tablets of the Ten Commandments. 3 all the arts over here. For Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Write it down. 4 pillars in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. After the 4, matriarchs of Israel, which are Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. 5, 6 on the bima. 5 benches on the bench. 5 books of Moses. Remember that. 6 pillars down below over there. Is it a home? This is very good. Story. 6 stairs going up and 6 stairs going down. What's 6? 6 books of the Mishnah, which is the Bible by heart. Mishnah, have you heard about it? Talmud is the combination of the interpretation and the Bible by heart. So it's the Gemara and the Mishnah together. Okay? So the Mishnah is the Bible by heart and Gemara is the interpretation of the Bible. Sheva. 7 steps. 7 days in a week. 6 steps going up. And the last one is something like a small step over here for the handler. The man who started praying over here. If I'm going to cover. 6, and the last one is basically 7. When we stand on the stage. 7 days in a week. 8 days of circumcision. 8 pillars under the bima. Can you see that? 8 small poles under the bima. 8 days before every boy should be circumcised, not less than 8 days. It can be 30 days, but not less than 8 days. But 8 days is the best. I was just joining a service of a brief on Shabbos. I was surprised. 4 o'clock on Shabbos, I was supposed to come to a brief. 9 domes. This is 9. 9 domes. 9 is the 9 months of the birth. Okay? 10 חלונות. 10 windows over there in the middle. The main kickoff. This is named after the 10 tribes of... No, sorry. 10. 11. 11 is the number of stars. Number of stars in Joseph's dream. And he's telling that only at night you can see that. Only at night. الستاف اوكي افرز Twelve windows over here, named after the first crash of Israel. Okay, 8 down and 4 on the top. Who is the smallest one? Youngest, right? Who was it? Benjamin. Benjamin was the smallest one. His mother died while she had a birth. If it's a small window, over there. The smallest one is over there. What's that? Who's the Abu Af? Abu Af, this rabbi, the second one in the for him, came from Spain. He's the first guy who, he's the first. What did you get, Mike?
Got a friend.
Famous?
Some other stuff.
Famous artist? Beautiful what?
She didn't find what she wanted.
He asked me. Huh?
Didn't see exactly.
See Tiberias over there on the foot of the mount over there?
On the right side.
On the right, everything is on the right.
Across the Jordan River, military bridge, Golan Heights.
Huh? Built by the engineering troops, yeah. Built. There's T people at the NT.
Where's the river?
The river is here, the Pishwas are here.
It ain't much of a river.
The river. That's the Jordan River, that's it.
That's what you ran through.
Yeah.
That's slow. Oh, no, rafting with us.
Maybe I should stay on the
This
bus.
is all minefields over here. In the Syrians' time, before the 6 Days War. You see the signs? Danger mines. Part of the Syrian bunker that was built up by the Russian engineers. The trenches over here. See the anti-tank barriers, obstacles. You can see the width of the bunker, 90 centimeters, concrete and the iron. It was built up by the Russian engineers from 1960 to 1967. Russians and Syrians were together, allies. The bunker over here had 145 to 155 soldiers, all the way around. And the officers were sitting on the top over there, and the other soldiers were in the trenches over here. To blow up a bunker like that, at that time the Israeli Air Force were not able to do it, due to the fact that the planes that we're using were very slow, number one. Number two, the rockets we're using were very lousy rockets. Today, as you know, the American helicopters, Tomahawk and anything you want, you simply direct it straight with laser and you make an end to anything you want.
Be careful when you cross the road.
So I'm talking about the Cobra, the Defender, the Apache, all those helicopters, that's very easy to blow it up.
Can I
At that
interrupt
time,
you for a minute?
yeah,
Can I talk to your people?
no.
They're lucky to have a good guy like you. He's one of the best. Not the best, but one of the best.
Soft like Navi Pogba,
He said the only one was better instead.
Dead, yeah. Well, that's a joke, but you're lucky. He's a good guy.
Anyhow,
I know.
so a bunker like that would never be able to be blown up at that time because Israel had French planes and American planes. We went by 1967. We had the Mirage. We had the Vautour, which was very bad, something like P-52, but smaller, very lousy plane, and we would never be able to blow up a place like that. Number two, the Syrians had the strategic position because they were sitting on the top and we were sitting down below next to the Jordan River. How tough was the fighting of the Golan Heights in 67? The decision that was taken to take the Golan Heights was very complicated decision because when you take a decision like that, you have to know that 90% of these soldiers are going to be killed because they have to climb up from the bridge all the way up, cross over the minefields, and anything comes up like artillery or tanks or infantry, being killed. But Israel didn't want to start a war against the Syrians. We gave them 5 days to think about. And while we were busy in Egypt and in Jordan, in the West Bank, they started moving with their tanks all the way down from Kibbutz Dan. And on Friday, when the Israeli troops finished the job in the West Bank and in Sinai, I'm talking about 67 war, the decision was taken that we have to take the Golan Heights because the Syrians, we cannot live under the cannons of the Syrians, which were shelling us from here all the way down. And the Golan Heights was taken in 36 hours. Those are the names of the soldiers that fell in this war, in the attrition war, 1968 to 1970. Names of the soldiers that were killed in the Yom Kippur War and afterwards, and those names of the soldiers that were killed from the same brigade at the Lebanon Peace for the Galilee, last operation which was done by Israel in 1982. That Israel was in Beirut. Israel was all the way deep inside, very close to the Syrian lines. The heavy concrete shows you how tough was it to capture the bunkers of the Syrians. One of the reasons we left. Okay. First of all, you can see the Syrians were all the top over here. Anything where you have, anywhere where you see the eucalyptus trees over here, down below. And on the other side, you can see kibbutz, Gadot, and Mishmar Yarden. Whatever the Israelis did, they did. When we hide our kibbutzim with eucalyptus trees, they also hide their bunkers with eucalyptus trees. The only difference was we hide most of the roads with eucalyptus trees, and they hide only the bunkers with eucalyptus trees. So after they did it, we knew exactly where the tanks and artillery are, and we knocked down 82 bunkers, and the Golan Heights looks like a Hanukkah, like a menorah. That was 1965, and the man who helped us to convince the Syrians that this is the way they have to hide their bunkers was a guy named Eli Cohen, who was a spy in Damascus. And after several years, he came to a point of a very strong relationship with the Prime Minister of Syria and the Defense Minister, and he asked him, "What would you do?" He said, "I'm a businessman. I'm a Syrian businessman in South America, and I'm dealing with the Jews. The Jews are very smart. If Ben Gurion is putting over the trees, probably you should put also trees in order to hide the artillery." That's what they did, and the day after, the Israeli tanks came up to the ramps and shot exactly the Syrian bunkers. Between 1965 and 1967, there was enough time for the Syrians to change something over here, but they couldn't change because everything was built up in a Russian doctrine. You build up something in a Russian doctrine, it's hard to move 140 or the number of bunkers that were over here from the Banyas all the way down to the Sea of Galilee. The Syrians were on the top. Every day they were shelling and shooting. Some of them with the binoculars, some of them without binoculars. It was very easy to shoot every kibbutzim that went down. Every guy that went to put, Syrians that went to put down mine in the fields, we couldn't do anything. They were on the top, they saw us, and this was the life. Just to give you an idea, the kibbutzim, Ahelta Shachar, Chulata, Kfar Blum, Agoshrim, everything here, the youngsters were studying in bunkers. High school, they never saw light, sun in their life. Everything was done in bunkers. I'm talking about between 1960 to 1967. And this was one of the reasons that we decided to make an end to this threatening and to push the Syrians all the way back.
So I got a good picture of your life.
The bridge that we went over, the Jordan River, which is right there, was the bridge that Syrians stopped at during the war in '73, thinking that it was a trap, and it gave the Israelis time to regroup and saved Israel.
By the way, the water spring.
Section that if the Golan Heights were given up to Syria, this would be a housing area that would be given up. Sea of Galilee from the Golan Heights.
Be on the right, we would be in Syria.
Sea of Galilee.
Over there, can you sit down over there? Yeah. That's the Rukad River, Rukad. And those are the boats of the Golan Heights.
Got my nose in it.
Yeah.
The name itself has a certain important meaning, in that it means in English the village of the Carib. Carib is one of the national foods of Israel. It's grown here throughout biblical times, and it's written about in the Jerusalem Bible, the same village that was here 2,000 years ago. And we took the name of Carib, the village that was here. Before we came here, there was a Syrian army camp here. The Syrian army camp's name was Kafat the village of the sword. Very different than
Very windy today. Tiberius there.
Looking at here is the entire Sea of Galilee, the Canary, as we call it. The Sea of Galilee provides Israel with 30% of its fresh water. That's our only freshwater reservoir. What was here before we came was the Syrian army camp on this same site. From here, the Syrians shot down on Kibbutz En Gev right below us here. Kibbutz En Gev started back in 1937. One of the founding members of En Gev was Teddy Kollek, the former mayor of Jerusalem. The children in that kibbutz slept in bomb shelters for the 19 years the Syrians were here. And why is it important that people come to see this view is because no words in the world will explain to people the importance of the Golan Heights, like this view here will explain to people what the Golan Heights means. So I say take pictures, you have to show those pictures to 100 people in America. Because any words that are used in the States today, occupied territory, over the Green Line, pre-1967 borders, doesn't mean a thing until you see what the Syrians were doing when they were here on the Golan Heights. That's the reality of our being here. Okay, so you'll take some pictures and then we'll go to the
Well, this is maybe the high point. Maybe the high point of our tour here. It's the cow milking machines.
The merry-go-round milking machine.
And what you really can't appreciate in this video is the smell. It's something that just can't be described on video. One of those rare occasions the people with allergies have the advantage. It's our little back road here, a little military shortcut. That's where we just came from. That's where we just ate.
Really?
There's Michael sticking his feet in the Sea of Galilee. Come on, Michael, stick those tootsies in.
There's another one there. Come on, will you? Okay.
There it is.
Wrong way.
What are you eating?
I could say what. What pictures? Oh my God.
What are you eating, Mark? Any good?
Are you okay?
The town of Akko, Ptolemaios, that's the Greek name, was established 17th century BCE. That means?
Before the Common Era.
Before the Common Era.
3,500 years ago. And it went all the way through the history, several generations. The town was much lower than the level that we're stepping now. Became famous at the time of the Crusaders because this was one of the major cities of the Crusaders. They built up the city which was indoor, which means with vaults and arches and everything else. And the Crusaders left the area, the Mamelukes came, the Turks. So you will see a mixture of constructions from the Crusaders' time and from the Ottoman Empire. The empire of the Ottomans was collapsing in the 19th century. And in the 20th century, 1917, the Turks left and the British came in. We spoke today about the Israeli underground, which is divided into the Irgun, which is the national organization which was fighting against the British to get rid of the British. And we're talking about Stern gang. Somebody told me that he knows Yair Stern. Who told me this? You? Yair Stern, whose father was the head of the fighters of the freedom of Israel, was very extreme. And we know about the Haganah. In 1938, when Israeli people were caught with rifles and guns and training, either they would be hanged or they would be put in a prison. And the prison was right over here. Now the prison is built up on the Crusader city. What I'm going to show you now is what we excavated, what we took the waste from the Crusader city that was filled with rubble, stone and everything by the Turks, and the prison was putting up on the top. The prison was used at that time of the Turks as a Acropolis, as a headquarters. But all the Crusader city, instead of being leveled and shaped by the Turks, simply they were smart, they filled it with rubble, stones and sand and everything, and built up on the top the city of Akko. So while we're walking above ground, this is all from the Turkish time, Ottoman Empire. While we're walking underground, everything is from the time from the Crusaders. Taxi to Haifa, $100. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's time for shopping, time for touring.
Right.
And they won't find us, because anywhere I'm going, I'm not coming back. Who was this? Stop.
Stop what?
Stop the meeting. All right.
Who
called prison? He's on the top. When the Israeli prisoners and the Arab prisoners were sitting in jail, they were above this conventional hall, the Knights Hall of the Crusaders. This was all built by the Knights in the Crusaders' time, 12th century, Italians. This is all original. You see the keystone and everything? We just put the plaster, that's it. The only thing we left for you as a witness for the fact that every prisoner like you ran away home. Because you're sitting in jail, in a prison, the Akko prison, it's not so pleasant to sit down. So we're like an Alcatraz prison in San Francisco. So those Israeli people decided to drill a hole in the ground, in the floor, and maybe they can sneak outside. The moment they drilled this hole, can you see it over there?
Yeah.
They found out that this has a full city. They didn't know that the prison is sitting on a city. And there's no way to run away because this wall, almost to the top, filled with sand and trash and everything else. So they were the first people after 700 years that announced, that told us that the Crusader city still exists. The second attempt was to steal the uniforms and the horses of the British, but they were afraid because the guy who was guarding over there was deaf. They didn't know he's deaf, so they were afraid to steal the horses. Their horses and everything else. At 47, as you know, the Israelis broke into the prison, like we saw in the Exodus movie.
Yeah.
And we have to remember.
Bedroom, places for your hi-fi, inexpensive.
So this is the town of Akko. You can see that from three sides. The boundary is the wall. They were afraid that people will come from the sea and attack them. The only side which is the land side, this is the way that we went in over here to the city. Those are the moats and the walls and everything else. 3 walls and 2 moats around the city. Akko has a fantastic natural conditions for a port because it has a bay over here. Can you see that? This is all the way down is Haifa. We will be able to see Haifa later on. This is the major mosque over here, which is called El Kabir, named after this cruel guy, the butcher, who showed Napoleon Bonaparte how do you fight in the Middle East. You have to be cruel. If you're not cruel, you're losing. And he's buried over here in the city. He used to be a fat man like that. Jalabia used to walk in the city with a sword. Anybody who has a long nose, chop the nose, you know. He liked the Jews, you know why? Because his finance minister was a Jewish guy, so he didn't touch the Jews. He touched only the Arabs. Anyhow, he passed away. When he passed away, they found under the pillow that he's sleeping, yeah? A list of people that he was
Crossing off.
killing every day. So when he passed away, he had another 20, 50, you know. Bath, and from the Turkish bath, we're going to walk all the way down to the Caravanserai. From Caravanserai over here on the wall, we're going to walk. We're going to show you the peasant jetty over here. Then we're going to meet the bus over here at the... The Turks don't understand what's the mixing of those two. Boiling and cold. And you come in, what? This door is all hidden. Those pipes that you used to be able to see over there, that's the main stove over there. You go in, they give you a schmatte, you put on your stuff over there in the room. They lock you in the room for 45 minutes, so no more, still. And the guy who takes care of you doesn't take you how long. Doesn't speak. Everything with the hands. You don't leave what? Leaves. In a minute, in basic thing, in a minute. I'm telling you from my individual experience in Kushadashi, and after 45 minutes, you really know what's going on. One thing I knew, that I left all my stuff in one of the rooms, and if this guy is going to open the door, nobody knew. My wife is waiting outside. She thinks that it's going to take 20 minutes, but it wasn't a touristic one, it was a real one. It was a local people, we didn't know that. And after 45 minutes, I come and sit down, and the man calls me. He takes a bucket of cold water, and then boiling water, all of that. And then you lay down, you take the loofah, with the detergents, you know, and you stretch your body, and then your eyes are covered by soap, and you know, and you're screaming, it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And the friend of mine is sitting over there, I was the first one, they're laying you like bread, this. And then, what? And then he takes your left hand with the right leg and he folds it. And then the opposite. And then he runs with you. That's a good treatment, I'm telling you. And at the end, he drops you over there. And once again, boiling water and cold water, and that's it. Now, when you leave the place, you're there not to leave with him. Because the man is like that. Hey, man, like that, you know? Stands in the entrance. Thanks God, after 2 hours, I saw myself living again, reborn. This big hall over here, that's the dining room. It's called Refractarium. After they used to quetch over there in the conventional hall, the Italians used to come over here. There was probably a long table. Look at the vaults, the arches, everything supported by this column over here, 1 and 2. The belts, metal belts, we put it here. But this was outstanding structure. Everything is underground. You understand? Everything is underground. This, where this gentleman is standing, this was the window of this dining room. You understand? So the level of the city is this one over here. Most of the city was covered. The idea was to protect the city because the Arabs, Saladin especially, if he will manage to destroy the city, to capture the city, they will have enough time to take the boats from the port, from the fishing jetty, where I'm going to take you now, and then to run to the middle of the sea. The Arabs were expert in fighting. So this is why you see the chairs over here and the benches and everything else. It's beautiful. What I want to show you, 3 years ago, when we were walking over here. This was the level of this exercise ground of the British prison. Prison is over there. You see that? we see the light, the reflector, behind it where you see the yellow, the green plastic over there. This is where the gallows used to be. This is where the British hanged over 10 Israelis. And the last 3 years they decided to come down and to expose the Crusader boats and archers and everything else, and this is what they did. But this is probably more important than the prison itself, but the prison is the one to see over there all the way around.
I know.
Love it.
You do, not me.
Cool off of these.
Two of us.
Bye. Bye. See ya.
Into the...
Thing for the thud. Did you hit your head?
I haven't thudded yet.
You're right here.
Let me ask you a question. That's why they're respecting you. They have to make some business also. The only Jewish guy in the city is the mayor. No, the mayor also, definitely. Why do you think the Arabs voting for a Jewish mayor?
He's got Sappho.
They got Paul. No, seriously, why? Let's put it this way. The Arabs have 15,000 in the city. The Jews have 40,000. Do you think any Jew will vote for an Arab guy? No. Do you think any Arab will vote for a Jewish guy? Yeah.
Yes.
Why? They kidnapped them, all the hostages.
Yeah.
And the Israeli army broke in and 22 people were killed because they...
A shopping frenzy. I think that we're in a shopping frenzy here. Here we are in a shopping frenzy here. And there.
That's the trough
Yes, good.
of the horses. You're coming over here as a businessman from Egypt. You stay overnight here. Very good.
Yes.
Listen, you have a test tonight.
That's final.
They came over here from Egypt. At night time that was forbidden to ride with the horses and the chariots. They tied the horses to those poles over here. Those poles were brought from Caesarea, were stolen from Caesarea by the same guy, the butcher, El Jazar. The second floor will be used by the business people. And early in the morning they will move on and on to Lebanon, to Syria, to any other direction. This is called Caravanserai. The Khan el Omdan, Khan in Turkish is Caravanserai. And Omdan destroyed during the wars, several wars over here in Akko. Finally, everything was destroyed in 1840 by the Allies, Austria, and the other countries over here to help the Turks to...
Right, I got great pictures.
Tony!
Bye all. Bye all.
Michael, like I said, I don't know how you're going to condense this down to one floor. If you can't, I'll be willing to pay for a second floor.
Yeah, an extra hour or two.
Really,
Le Méditerranée. It's okay.
Introduce yourselves.
I'm Ed Weberman.
I'm Frida Weberman.
And what was the high point of this vacation for you?
High point was the group that I was with. I had a great time and everything else fell in place.
Ed?
It was great.
We had a fabulous time. I think I liked the archaeological dig. I liked Beit Shaheen. Old City Jerusalem was fantastic. And hopefully next year we'll meet again in Jerusalem.
That's a great idea. 1 year anniversary trip to Israel every year. That's a good idea. So introduce yourselves.
Sheila and Mike Levine.
And
We're from Michigan.
right. Sheila, what was your favorite part of this trip?
I think climbing back on the Masada again
Yeah.
after a 6-year absence.
Hey, Mike.
Then I did it.
And yours, Mike?
Mine was just the whole trip. I didn't realize the topography, the hills, the dales, and the sight of Jerusalem at night from my hotel window. I'll never forget. And all around good time, and with the company and the way we were treated on the tour as a whole, I think was very good. And I'll be happy to come back. I hope it's not too long before I go.
Introduce yourselves.
I am Harry Stein. This is Sonny Stein. We are from Lower Merion, Pennsylvania. We're having a wonderful time, wonderful people, a wonderful country. And not only that, we are extremely fortunate to have our official photographer with us, Michael, who is taking these photographs and who will supply a copy to us.
What was your favorite part of this vacation? High point.
The high point was Israel, the country.
Oh, country.
We enjoyed every part of it. And Michael, I do want to say, on the part of all the people on this bus, we want to thank you for this videotape.
Oh, thank you.
This is my wife, Sonny. Would you like to say a word?
I had a wonderful time. And my favorite part, I think, was Masada. And I just think it's a beautiful country, and it makes
You want to eat in Kapulski, in the place that sells
that you're lucky to
that serves you dairy, and this is the chain. It's next.
Okay, Harry.
I want to apologize for the interruption of this interview. We are deciding where to have dinner tonight. It's a farewell dinner. It's a great problem. But Michael, what I did want to say, if you should bump into Helen Turk, tell her that Sonny and I send her our regards. I believe you know who she is.
Yes, we do.
Thanks again.
Okay, introduce yourself.
My name is Nora Godkin. I'm from Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. I've been trying to take this trip for the past 25 years. Unfortunately, my husband did not live to make this trip with me, but I have a wonderful daughter-in-law who has decided to take me. And I've had a wonderful time with a very nice group. I really enjoyed it.
No daughter.
Hi, Michael. You're a good director. My name is Phyllis Godkin, and I want to thank you for being you. You're terrific. And my favorite part was the old city of Jerusalem. I think that was probably the most memorable for me.
Okay.
Tell me what time, okay?
Me?
You.
You're on.
Introduce yourself.
See the red light? You're on.
Oh, thank you, daughter. Got one of the most memorable parts.
Wait. Introduce yourself.
My name is Sam Janafti. This is Sandy Janafti. We're
Okay.
from St. Petersburg, Florida. We've had just a wonderful time with the people on this tour. The people have been just a joy to be with. And of course, finding a daughter, your wife, has been fantastic. And
That's
as far-
me.
and as far as location, two places, Masada and the old city at the wall, were very, very emotional for me and my wife.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sandy, Sam's wife. And like Sam said, we just had a fantastic time meeting everybody. And you two have been great to us, letting us go to dinner with you, spend time with you. And like Sam, Masada and the old city and being at the wall were the greatest. Have a safe trip home.
We don't have to to introduce ourselves because, well, other people will be seeing this videotape. So I'm Michael Schwartz.
And I'm Pam Sue Schwartz, wife of the infamous videographer of Gate 1's Tour to Israel, 1994. And we want to thank the JCC of Delaware, because without them we probably wouldn't be here on our trip of a lifetime, since we were part of the trip. And we've had a wonderful time. We've met some great people. Stop it! I can't imagine what my highlight would be, because they've all been wonderful. I think the children's part of Yad Vashem, seeing the wall, what else, Masada, it's all been wonderful.
My favorite part was going back to Gesher, the woods in 1972, and seeing some of the sights that I had seen before and were starting to fade in my memory. It's wonderful to get back here. The old city, not so much even, because that was in my memory that really stood out, but some of the other places that I had been to a long time ago, and it was really nice to get back there and be able to capture this for all time.
It's different whether I can see you now. But
Hi, my name is Elsa Cohn from Cleveland, Ohio. I enjoyed this restroom tour of the Holy Land.
Very good.
My favorite parts were digging up 2,000-year-old pottery and putting my message in the warm Western Wall.
Hi, I'm Mark Cohen from Florida, and I'm going to put my hat on because I've been wearing it for the whole tour. Everyone recognized me with that. Everybody will know who I am. You want to know what my favorite part of the tour was?
Yes.
I think climbing Masada, going to the desert. I've never been to the desert before. Digging the pottery up in the cave, that was pretty fascinating. I wanted to keep what I found, but I'm sure they won't let you. And going to the old city on the Western Wall. I've never been there. Seeing all the Hasidic spring there was pretty fascinating. And of course, we have this wonderful videographer, so we're going to get to see all this. And Kobe was amusing
25 shekels! Never mind.
Introduce yourself.
Tony Sherman from Los Angeles.
Yes, and what was your favorite part of this tour? Getting razzed by everyone on it?
Yeah, getting harassed, abused. That was good.
No, really.
Love that.
What was your high point?
The high point was probably the Golan Heights today and the Mediterranean. I like that.
History in the making. You were there.
My name is Phil Cohen from Cleveland, Ohio. I've tremendously enjoyed the trip, especially the bathroom trips. But my next best was the ball. And I think we've all had a great time.
I'm Nita Cohen from Cleveland, Ohio. I think not only seeing all the places, but it's being together with everyone, which has helped make it a wonderful trip. And the most enjoyable, seeing the Holy Land and all the places that I hadn't seen before when I came here before. And
My daughter's friend.
it's wonderful to be able to see all of it again and see everybody again in pictures, and hope we keep in touch with each other so that it doesn't, the meaning stays together. Thank you.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Carol Sherman from Los Angeles. It's been Tony's better half. It's been a long day, and you caught me with nothing to say.
Wow.
I've enjoyed the trip, and Israel's been a dream come true. And I loved everybody here. It's been really a lot of camaraderie.
She wants to go to sleep.
And I really want to go to bed and have a hot bath. Thank you, Michael.
Gene?
Hi.
No, introduce both of yourselves.
All right.
I didn't
My
start.
name is Al Beagle. This is my wife, Jean. And we're very thrilled to be on a trip with so many compatible people. The best part of my trip was, well, actually, there are two good parts. The first part was being bar mitzvahed at the wall, my first bar mitzvah. The second part was climbing all the way up to Masada while my wife was left on a lower level. Really enjoyed everybody on this trip. It's a wonderful trip, and hopefully Michael, you'll get the pictures to me
At a deal.
as quickly as possible. You got to remember, Gene is 80, I am 70. We don't know how much longer.
Boy, I have never had pressure like that before in my
Michael,
life.
I understand. And I promise not to call you hempeg.
Gene.
The highlight of my life was something I was looking forward to. It's going on a trip to Israel with Al, and most of all, it's being bar mitzvah. That was the biggest thrill. Of course, the fellow riders on this bus, everybody here I enjoyed being with very, very much. Thank you very much, Michael.
Your kid.
Hello, Michael.
What was your? Introduce yourselves.
I'm Michael Moonblatt. I'm one of, 4 or 5 Michaels on the trip, which was interesting. It's really been a good trip. It's been a great trip, something I've enjoyed. There's nothing that's been wrong with this trip other than our hour and a half, 10-minute ride. Thank you, Kobe. We've had a great guide, great people. It's been the best trip I've ever been on. And if they all could be like this, it'd be wonderful.
Linda?
Hi, I'm Linda Moonblatt, his other half, and it's been a wonderful experience. And been planning this trip for a long time, and we finally got here. And I'd go again, and I'd recommend it to anybody. It was a great trip.
What I would like to say, which I should have said earlier, was that Kobe, our guide, made this trip really delightful. We enjoyed Kobe very, very much. And if we ever take a trip again, hopefully we'll have Kobe for our guide again. Thank you.
Ann Masnick, otherwise known as Hannah, the librarian, Safranit. It was really neat to be with you. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go on a tour or not, but you all made it very, very pleasant for me to be with you. I didn't feel like the single person in the group, which was great. And I thank you all. Bye-bye and be well.
Introduce yourself. What is your? We know you as Kobe. What's your last name?
Arava, A-R-A-V-A, translated from a German name. It's the name of the longest valley in Israel. I became a tour guide because this is my stage. Nobody can take away my stage.
And we don't want you to.
Gegangen.
What was your high point of our tour?
Listen, the group is a very nice group.
Yeah, we're good.
They didn't get lost. That's very important. You know, and they listening, and they, you know, really nice group. You know, smiling, schluffing a lot, snoring. Didn't let me sleep. Asking a lot of questions. It shows me that the people are really interesting.
And you're going to come visit all of us in the United States this summer?
In the summer because I have to take my son to the States, and you know I haven't been there for 15 years. Yeah, 1979.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna come to Delaware.
This year in the United States.
Yeah, August.
Okay.
August. Delaware. I'm gonna come to Delaware.
All right. We'll be looking
And
for
you said you have a house where?
I have a house, plenty of extra room.
Oh, you know how many
plenty.
children I'm bringing? 12 children I have.
I think I saw one little one the other day at the Mariah. You had a little was that yours?
Mariah, mine? No.
In Jerusalem, I thought I saw you.
No.
All right.
And this is it. Then I hope to see you again.
No, it's not over yet.
Tomorrow afternoon, I'm saying goodbye to you. Going back to my family, and I'm driving all the way to the north back. 2 days vacation.
Okay. Simon, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Shimon Cohen.
Aha, another Cohen.
Yeah.
Cohen, yeah.
Ah.
I'm your driver this week, and it's my pleasure.
What was your favorite part of our trip?
Oh, the way down today from the Golan Heights.
Aha, yes.
The one that we, you know.
Oh, that we learned something new. Is that nuclear reactor?
No, that's oil refiners.
Oh, oil refiners.
Kobe, are those nuclear reactors?
Shh. Oil refiners.
I don't believe it.
Doesn't believe me. From the beginning, he doesn't believe me.
Okay. Bye. Haifa.
Okay, we have just checked into the Nav Hotel in Haifa. This is the view from our room, looking down upon the rest of Haifa because we're way up on the top. It's beautiful, very cosmopolitan looking. Not bad, huh? And you know what was really nice about this room, Michael? They gave us a remote for our TV. We haven't had that at our other hotels.
Wow, now I get to do my man thing here.
No!
This view, did you
I
see that?
know. This is great. Star Trek in Hebrew.
But you can't understand it.
It's okay. I've seen it before. We've
Maybe
seen
it's
it
a
before.
rerun.
We know what they're
I
saying.
haven't
Michael, you
seen it.
taping it? Oh, you're taping the kiss. This is great.
Commander, dürfte ich Sie wegen der Versetzung von Fähnrich Cavill sprechen? Die Quantenmechanik wird Ihnen...
No, that's not Hebrew.
German?
It's German or something.
Woher wissen Sie das? Weil ich es ihm angeboten habe.
Guten Abend, that's German.
That's German. Oh my God! Star Trek in German. That's funny.
Okay, so we're here at El Gaucho in Haifa celebrating the bar mitzvah of Al. Show your gift. Show us your gift. Show us your gift. Where's bar mitzvah? Look what we all gave him. We spared no expense.
I want to chip into that gift.
Now, look at all this food. You all gonna eat all that?
This is our bar mitzvah.
Oh man. How's the food? And how's your steak?
Absolutely delicious.
Yeah, good.
Having a great time. This is
That sounds way too good.
Sonny, I hope you're hungry. Hey, Sonny, I hope you're hungry.
Oh, this is a salad dressing.
Lots of food.
I'm starved.
Sandy, you drunk yet?
Very drunk with happiness.
Mary, that looks awful good. I want you to clean your plate, okay? Clean up every drop.
Okay, now I need to borrow you.
Eat up.
Well, we're videotaping this at the end of the day. Very historic time to be in Israel, and we were here. Okay.
Shalom. So last night we got back from a great dinner and party and everything, and we came to this hotel, and we noticed there were a lot of people sitting around here. Big cameras and lights and everything. We had no idea who the guy was. This morning Michael woke up, came down to the desk and asked who it was, and it was Ramon, who is the...
Just won the election.
Just won the election.
Of the head of the Israeli labor, labor union, not labor party.
Right.
But it was a big upset, and this guy, they're saying, Kobe said this guy might be the next prime minister of Israel,
And he was sitting right here in this very
and we walked in, we looked, and said, who is this guy? Nobody stopped us. Nobody took two looks at us. There was all sorts of television and radio and newspaper there. And this morning I found that was a Ramon.
That was Ramon. So we saw an important figure in Israel last night with these very eyes.
The city of Haifa, okay?
Wait till the rest of you comes out. 3 words of Haifa.
Downtown, Hadar, and Carmel. That's it.
Really were 3 words.
Carmel is the nicest area, nicest section of Haifa. The middle one is Hadar, the center of the town. The lower one is the port.
Yeah, we all over there.
You can see the military port, the military vessels over there, and the civil one. This is the main port of Israel, the largest one. The next port over there, where you see the Kishon River, which is polluted, comes over there. This is called the Kishon Port, which is mainly for the oil power station and coal and everything else. The This is the Bay of Akko. Goes all the way to the end over there. Farther on, you can see the mountains in the distance, 42 kilometers from here, over there. That's the border between Israel and Lebanon, 42 kilometers. Now I'm going to tell you where I was born. I was born right over there, at the point that over there. You can look at the lower Galilee. You can look down below, over here to the grain where we're going now.
Yeah, we go down.
The Rambam, the Haifa University.
University.
Okay, how are you? I think I'm serious.
Over here, I'm here.
I used to read these all the way down over there. And
Yeah, well, I can't speak over there next to the shrine, that's where I have to speak. EDS. That's the name of the camera. EDS. What?
They ate it. They ate the fiberglass.
Yeah, I'm serious. All the Susitas, no head. It's nice.
They had a Maserati.
Yeah, I think they
The Israeli cows were always made of feathers. Anyhow, this is the Baha'i garden over here. They're running a lot of property over here, what you see over there. Multi-millionaires in this town, Haifa. There's 120 Baha'is in Haifa. They're coming over here to serve for 5 years and then we're moving to another Baha'i temple. The Baha'is in the world are 4 or 5 million people. A lot of them in America, in South America, in the Philippines, Australian. Originally they were Muslims until 1853. 1853 they split from the Islam religion. The leader was hanged. His name was Babullah in Tabriz, in one of the cities of Iran. And later on they spread around in Turkey and all over. The curtain, and beyond the curtain you have to imagine yourself there was a grave. Why was Haifa chosen and not Jerusalem?
Well, I didn't have any soul.
Having a good time in Israel?
That's it. So,
Shoe cam.
Because I saw you were short, you know, so. All right. Michael's taking pictures of your feet. We'll identify them later.
pedicure. Maybe that's why we're stopping. You can't see my ugly toes. Yeah, this is your
building over here on your right side.
Technion.
Where the CAT scan and the jet plane were invented.
What's the name of the Israeli jet fighter?
The name of the Israeli jet that was cancelled by Weinberger, Caspar Weinberger, is the Lavi. You need the dormitories, you need the books, you need anything else, you know. It's a government prize. And there's no differences between the universities. It's all running by the Ministry of Education. We have a Technion and University in Haifa, and we have in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Beersheba, in Bar Ilan, and Ramat Gan, we have universities. We have universities in other cities. So in the major towns we have universities. Altogether 5 universities in Israel. Each one of the universities has around 15 to 20,000 students. The largest one is the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, which has 2 campuses. People are finishing the army, graduating the army, and they study Technion. By the way, I forgot to tell you, the first academic institution that Hebrew was official language, Kibbutz Elonim, this is where I found my first love. How many loves did I have?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember.
How many loves do you still have?
Only one. No, 3. Me, my wife, and the 2 children. 3. 5 of us.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very good.
Can you put another tape in so we can hear more songs?
And he had 3 sons, 3 kids. And all of them were arrested at the Turkish time, were put in the prison of Akko. But Alexander Zaid was a figure that everybody knew. Ben-Gurion, Moshe Dayan, Yigal Allon. He was one of the guys that was training the Israelis to fight against the Arab terrorists in the Valley of Jezreel. But the Arabs who lived in this area, all of them respected him. And one day, when this town was developed and founded, the town that we passed by Tivon, he went to show the people how to start living over here. Because those people came from Russia, they didn't know. And he went back home around 11 o'clock, and while he comes next to his house, he was shot from a distance of 2 meters by a 17-year-old boy, Bedouin boy. Bedouin, for 50 dinars, he shot him. 50 dinars. 50 dinars, 100. This is I would say, the place that the Jews would like to be buried, not just Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. When Jerusalem was under the hands of the Romans, the Jews didn't have any choice. They couldn't be buried in Mount of Olives. They decided to be buried right over here. You have to know what are you sitting on. Nice. This is all from the 2nd century. This is a door which has, how do you call it, a niche, how do you call it? In the ground, like that, turn around, how do you call it? Trap door? This one over here, turn around like that.
Pivot.
How do you call it?
A pivot.
A pivot.
A hinge.
An inch, that's the word, inch. And it's closed like that. The picture, the ornaments on the top, the relief looks like the Ark of the Covenant. And this is why they used to close the doors of the cemeteries and this kind of doors. But this was found in one of the caves. 32 caves were found over here, man-made. The caves were used as a mausoleum. We assuming that this is the place where the Sanhedrin people were buried. Who are the Sanhedrin? 71 people. 71 old people that used to hold in their hands the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary, the Supreme Court. This was the representatives of the Jews who ran away from Jerusalem and lived in the Galilee under control of the Romans in front of the Roman Empire. The entrances looks like a crypt, like a mausoleum, which doesn't look like a Jewish grave. It looks more like a Greek grave or like a Roman grave. And this is why the entrances are like this. But the entrance also symbolizes and reminds you that this is the entrance of a temple or of a synagogue. Because at that time they used to be buried, the people with the menorahs, with jewelry, with coins, with stuff like that. So this is why the entrance was very, very... Rest are from religious reasons. It's a... This is the place where we found a grave, a double grave, 2 graves of a girl 22 years old and a girl 9 years old. The 122 was virgin when she died. It's important. But this is not the most important highlight. The highlight over here is that she belongs to the family of Rabbi Gamliel. Who is Rabbi Gamliel? The head of the Sanhedrin in 70 AD was Yochanan ben Zakkai. The successor of Yochanan ben Zakkai after he passed away in Yavne was Shimon ben Gamliel. This is not necessarily the daughters of Shimon ben Gamliel, but probably Shimon ben Gamliel was the grandfather of those 2 girls. So when the Sanhedrin moved from Yavne to Beit Sha'arim, and this is the place, Beit Sha'arim, where we're standing now, probably this is where the family used to live, in the area of Beit Sha'arim, and this is where they used to be buried. In other words, this is not just a rabbi's cemetery, it's also the family cemetery. So the kids are buried here, and anybody else who belongs to the famous families. Beit Sha'arim, the house of gates. There's no gate shift. When you gather, when you put together in a bundle the wheat in a certain amount, it's bundles of seorim. Now, most of the farmers from this area. How come we come to Jewish cemetery? Underground instead of the bathroom. Cohen family should know the answer why.
Sorry, my father never taught me.
Now I'm going to teach you now.
Thank you.
Even in Mount of Olives, the priest, the Kohanim, are not allowed to go into a cemetery. Only if the funeral is a father or mother or somebody very close. Otherwise, they are not allowed to go into the cemetery because automatically they are impure. The same story over here. If this is the main road going to Akko and from Akko to Lebanon, they didn't want people like Kohanim. There were several Kohanim families to walk over graveyard. And this is why The main road is clean, no problems, no graves underneath the main road. But the stop of Mount Carmel, inside, they have graves. So the priests, they don't have to go walk over the graves, they walk by the graves. And that's the idea of making a big cemetery like that in the Mount of Mount Carmel. Wow.
Kobe.
What?
Michael, you're beeping.
You won't be able to go in.
Too big?
Listen, this is the grave of Mrs. Levy. If Mrs. Levy is buried here, or Mrs. Levy is the one that helped to shape the formation, the decoration of this grave, we don't know. But it's written somewhere over here, Alav Shalom, peace upon him, exactly what you see today in the Jewish cemetery, Alav Shalom. Mrs. Levy, maybe she is the wife of the guy who is buried here, maybe she is the wife of the guy that makes those sarcophagus, nobody knows. In other words, to be buried in this sarcophagus, you have to be, as I told you, a very famous rabbi, probably from the same rabbis that used to sit around the table in Bnei Brak in the time of Passover, in the Haggadah, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Tarfon, Rabbi Hanania, Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. One more thing I would like to tell you. If this is the homeland of Rabbi Caesarea, and we're going to go to visit today, Caesarea was executed. And while he was executed in a